So when you just press live, nishia yamba kusha notify abantu.
So Gianni, again that?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Good morning and welcome to the TCZ Facebook page where we conduct online interviews to discuss various issues to do with the council. We also look at happening issues. I call them happening issues because these are issues that are affecting teachers today and everything to do with the teacher registration, licensing, as well as student indexing. But today we're not going to get into the issues that we've talked about to do with education matters relating to the teachers. We're going to divert a little bit. And I'm going to play host to a very special guest from Higher Education Authority, who is no other than Mr. Musoba. Mr. Musoba, you're very welcome.
Thank you for having me, Ms. Malonga. Hello to the TCZ audience, and I'm very excited. You guys have over 40,000 followers.
Yes,
I'm gonna be famous.
So I am your host, Ngoza Malonga from the Teaching Council of Zambia. And like I stated earlier, today we're not looking at the Teaching Council of Zambia. Today we are looking at the Higher Education Authority. And I'm sure people are eager. What is the Higher Education Authority?
Okay, thank you so much for having me. But before I answer that question, allow me to first just say thank you so much for having us. This is amazing exposure for the Higher Education Authority. So my sincere thanks to you, to the registrar, Dr. Mbanga. Thank you so much. And we hope that you can reciprocate and come on our page, because we know you personally also have a huge following. So
yes,
we want those numbers. We want those numbers. But getting down to it, the Higher Education Authority is a statutory body that was set up through the Higher Education Act number 4 of 2013, and our purpose is to regulate higher education, the provision of higher education in Zambia. As you know, as you have explained, the TCZ the Teaching Council of Zambia was there before the Higher Education Authority came. So HEA doesn't deal with areas which fall under TCZ, areas which fall under TVETA and everything, but there was also areas that we needed regulation and everything, and especially when you look at the liberalization of higher education in Zambia, it was opened up because one thing that the Zambian government, sorry, just to take you back a bit, that the Zambian government has done so very well is the investment in primary education, primary and secondary education. So now we found that there was a point whereby, because of that huge investment, that very wise investment, we had a lot of graduates, grade 12 graduates coming out, and then the public institutions could not handle it. They couldn't, you look at CBU, UNZA, Mlungushi and everything. They couldn't handle the graduates that were coming out. And so what did that leave? What option did that leave? Could everybody afford to take their kids outside the country? That wasn't possible. So the Zambian government, through its wisdom and wisely so, they liberalized the provision of higher education in Zambia, and that's how come the private sector started coming in with the first private university in Zambia being Cavendish, the first private indigenous university in Zambia being Zambia Open University. But even as we opened up as the Universities Act of 1999 and allowed more institutions to come in, that sector needed to be regulated and everything. So that's why the Higher Education Authority came in through the Higher Education Act number 4 of 2013, and we're relatively young. We just started operating in 2015, so we're playing catch up. But with our sister organizations like TCZ giving us a platform and everything, and through even our the MOU that we signed and our working relationship, I think we're making ample progress.
Great. So there you have it. Stay close and listen attentively. You need to know that there are other institutions that are performing other roles in the education sector, and it's only important that you get to know who is who. So like rightly put, there is the Higher Education Authority and there is the Teaching Council of Zambia. So run us through, what are the functions? What do you do?
So with regards to the Higher Education Authority, one of our major functions is the registration of private higher education institutions. Because if you look at public higher education institutions, like the UNZAs, the CBUs, the Mulungushis, the Chalimbanas and everything, those are established either through by a declaration by the minister, through an act of parliament and everything, and they're established. But the private higher education institutions, they need to register. And for them to be established, they need to follow a certain criteria to say, do they meet certain requirements? Do they have the facilities? Do they have the financial power? Do they have the staff and everything? So what we do is we process the registration of higher education institutions, meaning their establishment into existence and everything. And as you know, the provision of higher education in Zambia is a regulated industry, just the same as banking is regulated. You can't just go to PACRA, register with PACRA, and then open a bank.
No.
It's not possible. So
rules
even
are rules.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So even with the provision of higher education, if people want to provide higher education in Zambia, they register with PACRA, get the affairs in order, but they have to register with us. So that's where we come in. And also through the regulation of higher education, we do what are known as institutional audits. We audit the institutions to make sure that they're keeping the standards by which we registered them. And also we go a step further and accredit the learning programs. And now this is important. Accreditation of the learning programs means that say an institution is offering economics, how sure are you that this one institution offering economics is producing economists that are able to operate as economists in the country? So we look at the learning program, and we analyze the learning program and find out, does it have the competence in it to produce economists at the end of the day? And that's what we do. We register them, we regulate the learning programs through accreditation. We also audit the institution. We also do what are known as surveillances. This is where we look for institutions that are illegally operating. As you know, where there's opportunity, people instead of just doing the right thing, they want to do the wrong thing, and then you have these opportunistic people trying to operate illegally, and we make sure that those institutions are not operating illegally.
Oh, great. So our viewers actually are very anxious because you spoke about something very key. You talked about accreditation.
Yes.
That is an issue that we believe Zambians must understand. For example, I have a bit of money today. I want to open a university or I want to open a college of education. So there's a thin line that people are not understanding what they're supposed to do. So maybe run us through, when you talk about accreditation, what are you expecting? Because people think when you have a university and tomorrow HEA is there to close it down, people are saying you're being unfair. So what is it that you're expecting of people to do? Because I want to open a university today. So tell us, as HEA, what is your expectation?
That is a very, very good question. Thank you for that. I thought you would go easy on me, but I guess that MOU is not working very well.
No,
but,
it is.
But honestly, thank you so much for that question. That is a very profound question because it goes back to the core of the establishment of the Higher Education Authority.
Yes.
What you need to know is that what HEA does, even what TCZ does, even what TVETA does and everything, we're trying to lead to accelerated human capital development.
Exactly.
We need to have people who enter the workforce, who enter society, that are capable to do the job that they're supposed to do. Imagine having incompetent doctors out there. Imagine having incompetent teachers out there. What will our children
It'll be crazy.
like?
It'll be
so
crazy.
It goes back to that. Your question goes back to the root of our establishment,
Exactly.
and the root of our establishment is not to ensure quantity but quality. Quality is very, very important. So when it comes to the registration of an institution as a university, as a higher education institution, first of all, when the institution comes to us after they've done the whole PACRA registration and everything, we take them through the steps and make sure that they meet certain criteria, make sure that they meet even the financial obligation of running an institution. Then when you look at also going into the learning programs, and you look at the learning programs and you say, even looking at the contact hours, are they enough? You look at the lecturers that are lecturing, do they have the competences? You can't have a bachelor's degree teaching a bachelor's degree,
No,
or you
no.
have somebody who has a diploma teaching a bachelor's course, or you have a master's teaching a master's.
Isn't that witchcraft?
Yeah, I'm telling you. So we need to make sure, like even say you're offering a science subject, do you have the facilities? Do you have the labs? Do you have the equipment? Say you're doing an engineering program. Do you have the software that the students need to work on for them to be engineers at the end of the day, to be civil engineers, to be architects and everything like that? So we interrogate the program, and the good thing that we do is that when we're interrogating the program, we look at we use experts in the field. We use program evaluators who are experts in the field, who have been working there, who have been lecturing there, who know what the basic minimums are. So what we're trying to do is not uniformize all the learning programs out there, but to make sure they have standards. They can say, okay, these are the minimum standards, but we'll add A, B, C, D to our economics course, or we'll add A, B, C, D to our geography course and everything like that. That is fine, but those minimum standards have to be there. And like you said, the most important thing is, because we want to produce quality, not quantity. We don't want, we want people when they go into the workforce, want the employers to be confident, just like you want, when a teacher is deployed, for the school to be confident and say, okay, this person is going to teach my kids, and they will grow up and retain something. So we want that, and the most important thing is that we want to add to the economy of the country, and for the Zambian country, for the Zambian economy to open up, for the country to grow. We need people who add, and that is what program accreditation does. It just basically goes to cut it to the bone. It goes down and says, will this program produce the graduates that it's saying it wants to produce? And we interrogate that with the help of our experts.
Oh, great. So our dear followers, I'm sure you're getting the interview quite well. You talked about something very key to do with quality, because I think we are misunderstanding the issue of quality.
Exactly.
And maybe most of the institutions are only going for quantity because it's about survival. So just in case you're thinking of opening up a university, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. Because at the end of the day, we're talking about developing the human capital, if I can borrow your word. So you need to be very careful, I would say. It's not about the money, or it's not about the numbers that you have. It's about what you're going to channel to society. So you talked about quality. Now, you do have a very special unit that you call an inspectorate unit.
Yes.
Would you care to share with our viewers what your inspectorate unit does?
And so our inspectorate units, our inspectors are actually very hard-working individuals, and they are if you look at the Higher Education Act, it actually empowers them. They're the only ones, apart from the Director General, who are mentioned in the actual act. So,
very special people.
I joke with them, most of the senior inspector, that if somebody is asking you what you do, just get the act and show them, this is me.
This is my job.
Yeah, so our inspectorate unit let me just go back a bit by saying that even in hard times, the Zambian government was so willing that in 2018 they expanded our budget for us to be able to hire the inspectorate unit, and we have inspectors. We have 5 of them, and what they do is that they go around institutions to ascertain that the standards with which we registered them, the institutions are still adhering to it. That's called an audit. Also, when an institution is applying to become a higher education institution, they make sure that they verify. Because one thing is, the application process is there is what is known as a desk review. You submit all your documents. So we look at your documents. If you pass the desk review, then there has to be a verification. You told us you have the labs. Show us the labs. Sure. You told us you have computers. Show us the computers. Where's your library? Show us.
You
and
walk
everything.
the talk, actually.
You need, exactly. I like that. Walk the talk. So that's
you need to walk the talk. Yeah.
So that's what our inspectorate unit does, and they do a very commendable job. They
Okay.
do a very hard job and everything, because when, like, our job, when we come and we say so many, like you guys did last, is it the other week, when you closed 16 colleges, and
yes.
you people thought, no, it's Miss Malonga who did that. No, no,
It was haphazard.
Exactly, but that's what happens. So even with our inspectorate units, these are very amazing, talented individuals who go out, who know what they're doing, and they go out and verify the information. They do their audits of the institution. They conduct the surveillances to make sure that there is no institution operating illegally. Because what hurts the most is that when you find, like, a family puts up all the resources to ensure that their child gets a higher education, but you find that institution is not registered, and then at the end of the day, it means that qualification will not be recognized.
Yeah.
So that is a waste of money.
It's true.
It's a waste of money. So no wonder if through platforms like this, we were trying to let people know that, no, you can just don't buy into any institution. Go to our website, hea.org.zm, verify with our website, is that institution actually registered? Is the program actually accredited? Because it's also not just about an institution being registered, but also the program being accredited.
Okay. But what do you think makes people go to unverified, I want to borrow your term, unverified universities for training?
I think it's because of just lack of just simple basic research. You look at an institution, and also there's you look at an institution, and just instead of just verifying a bit, just taking one step closer and say, okay, before I pay this application fee, let me just see who verifies that this institution actually exists. And that's why you look at that's why HEA was established, because there has to be, like, for instance, if I graduate from, say, Musoba University, I graduate from there, and here's my bachelor's degree. I come with my bachelor's degree, and then you want to employ me, Miss Malonga, and then you want to verify that bachelor's degree is actually worth anything. You can't call my former university, because my former university will say, of course it's that. So there has to be.
I want to maintain people.
Exactly. So there has to be that third institution, and I think if people just took that one step further, go to our website, hea.org.zm, just look at the list of all registered institutions and say, okay, this one is registered. I want to go to, say, A, but A is not there. Then look at B, C, D, E, F, G, and everything. So we encourage them, and because it's very, very important to verify, because at the end of the day, it's not just the money that you're spending, it's your time.
Exactly.
And once that is gone, and we all know once time is gone, it's gone.
It's gone
And everything.
sure.
But we are also through that, we are also trying to, even through platforms like yours, because you have a very wide reach, we're also trying to tell people that we exist. And because we exist, please verify with us, come to us, let us know, ask us, engage with us. We're also on Facebook at HEA Zambia, on Twitter, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. So you have no excuse.
No,
ask us, just ask
you
us.
actually
Just
spoke
ask
about
us.
LinkedIn. I did post something on our page.
Yeah, I saw it.
Asked teachers whether they have a LinkedIn account,
page.
and I realized that it's an issue that maybe we need to discuss further.
Exactly.
Because teachers especially, they need to understand that LinkedIn is it's a professional network, and a whole lot can be done. Now, I'm thinking at the back of my mind while you're talking, when somebody wants to go into these universities in this country, do you what is there for them to make sure that they have the appropriate qualifications? Is there a unit that looks at that?
So I think with regards to that, then this is where the Zambia Qualifications Authority comes in. Because the Zambia Qualifications Authority looks at the complete program. When the program is complete, it becomes a qualification. It sits on the Zambia Qualification Framework, and once it's there, then you can ask, is this qualification recognized, and everything like that. So what we do, as we do when we accredit a learning program, we submit it to ZACO, and then it sits on the framework and everything. So we work in tandem as well.
That's good.
And everything. So which is important. So you can ask us and ask if an institution is registered first of all, and then also you can go to ZACWA and find out is this qualification recognized and everything, and ZACWA will tell you. But one thing that I must say, like I mentioned, the Higher Education Authority was established through the Higher Education Act number 4 of 2013, but universities in Zambia have existed before 2013.
Literally, the system has been existing for a long time.
And you know, we know the first institution, the first university in Zambia being the University of Zambia, followed by CBU, etc., etc. So we are working in retrospect. So, and people must understand that certain institutions have submitted their programs for accreditation. Yes, this year we did Gazette, the accredited learning programs, but that list is forever changing. There's the list that we accredited is that we published for Gazette is on our website. They can check it out. You can check out, but it's forever changing. So whenever you go to an institution, a registered institution, and you want to find out if the program you want to start there is accredited, you can also ask us. Interact with us. Go to our website, hea.org.zm. We have a chat system. If you go to our website, you can chat with us. You can come to Facebook at HEA Zambia, Twitter at HEA Zambia, Instagram at HEA Zambia, LinkedIn at HEA Zambia. So there are a number of things that people can do to ensure that they are not going into one university that is not registered, to a program that is not recognized.
Okay, great. Wow, interesting stuff.
It's
So,
very interesting.
there are situations where you, I've seen on your page or even in the news that you've closed down some universities. What happens? Do you just wake up one morning and it's closed down, or what happens? Maybe you can share with us.
Okay, yeah. So what happens really when we close down an institution? It's we don't just close them down like one day we just wake up and close down the institution. What happens is that we conduct an audit. We conduct an audit, and then even after we conduct an audit, we give the institution and say A, B, C, D is wrong. Can you rectify? Like, you know, the last institution that we closed, Southern University, we closed the university because they didn't implement the recommendations that we made. So the law empowers us to close it. So we do there's audits. We do audits on an institution, because once we register an institution, we just don't leave it. We have to make sure that those standards are maintained, and those standards, we need them to be maintained is because we want the quality of graduates that are coming out to be over high standards, to be over standard that can be maintained. We want them to compete internationally. That's what we want. We want our graduates to compete internationally, not where they go somewhere they cannot compete, or where a Zambian graduate is being told you are much inferior to this other graduate. No, we don't want that. So that's what we do. So we conduct the audits, and through the audits we look at the institution. Sometimes we give them and say, okay, here's a period of 6 months, implement these changes. Here's a period of it depends on the seriousness of the faults that we find them, but we always do audits, and it's always an open process where we tell the institution these are the faults. Can you rectify them? If they can't, then we close the institution.
Wow. So there you have it. This discussion is getting more interesting.
Yes.
I wish we could talk for an hour.
Yeah.
And I think from what you've mentioned, it's all about having our qualifications in Zambia, you know, be internationally comparable.
Yes.
And of course, people need to understand that before an institution is closed, there's need to, you know, once in a while visit, because people might think you just wake up in the morning and say, okay, today you're closed. But they don't realize that it's a process where, you know, you even give them maybe provisional accreditation, and finally, you know, you give them a full accreditation. But of course, if they fail to reach the benchmarks, they will need to be closed.
They have to.
Okay. So I wish we could talk a lot more, and there's quite a lot to share.
Yes.
But of course, we'll ask our guests for today to just wrap it up and tell us what is it that you would like to share with the viewers in your final remarks, just to, you know, give them hope and encourage them to visit your site so that they get all the information that they would need to get, because I think as of today, there will be no more questions as in what does HEA do and what is it that TCZ is doing, because that line has been drawn.
Yeah.
So maybe we can wrap it up in that manner.
Okay, thank you so much. And before I wrap it up, allow me again to thank you to your over 40,000 followers. Hi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. You know, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, Thank you. Your platform is a huge platform, and we appreciate you inviting us. Again, my sincere thanks to the registrar, Dr. Mbanga. It's an amazing opportunity, and it's because of opportunities like this. It's because of platforms like this. It's because of the MOUs that we have signed, TCZ and HEA, that allow us to get our voice out there, because the most important thing is that we need to get our voices out there. Once we get our voice out there, then somebody out there will know that instead of me just believing what an institution says, let me verify with a third party that's not financially vested in that institution. You know, because if you're financially vested in something, you will say whatever you need to say to get the money. So come to a third-party institution like the Higher Education Authority, verify with us, go to our website. You can chat with us live on our website. Go to our Facebook page at HEA Zambia, Twitter at HEA Zambia, Instagram at HEA Zambia, LinkedIn at HEA Zambia. You will find us, and our website is hea.org.zm. Interact with us. What we want are interactions. No wonder when I was busy publicizing that, you know, we're coming on your page, very happy. You know, I was saying that we want to have a conversation. We're going to have a conversation with the Teaching Council of Zambia, and it's through a conversation, through a dialogue, that people get to understand things that maybe they might know, but maybe they just missed. Maybe they might think like TCZ, HEA, maybe we do the same thing. Maybe it's through those nuances. Because the key to life is that life is found in the nuances. And what are those nuances? The nuances are that HEA, TCZ, we have an MOU, we work together. The nuances are that even though we're both in higher education, although you guys are also in general education, it's we work in a manner that support each other. Technically, that's why we have the MOU and everything. And then we also have these platforms that we share, and it's important. So the what I'm driving